Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I do want to speak about Barcelona's first 3 matches and give my takeaways because we have about 9 to 10 days left before the international break is over. We need to find solutions. We need to know what is our problems, what can we fix, because when we do come back, when the season actually starts, we have to come in fully firing and the games are not going to be easy. Our first 5 matches will consist of Barcelona versus Valencia. We will be playing at home, then play away from home against Newcastle, then play against Getafe, then play against Real Oviedo away from home, and then Real Sociedad, with Barcelona playing at home. So the month of September is going to be insane. And so far, in the first 3 matches, Barcelona have had 2 wins and 1 draw, earning 7 points in La Liga, with 9 points total that we could have won, scoring 7 goals while conceding 3 goals. It's a strong start, yes, I would say, but there is some cracks in some key areas. So for example, point number 1, there is defensive vulnerability and a leadership void. The problem is Inigo Martinez left to Al Nassr, and that left a massive leadership vacuum in the back line, and we saw evidence of that. This is not something that we're just creating in our minds. This is very much real. The high line and the offside trap that worked so well last season now looks very shaky without the communication of Inigo Martinez and his positioning. Rayo Vallecano broke Barcelona's line with just 2 diagonal passes to score on the 73rd minute. It's insane. And the players that are under scrutiny, it is Araujo and Cubarsí with multiple positioning errors. Jules Koundé as well. I don't know what's going on with him. I understand that maybe he might be fatigued, maybe he's dealing with some sort of injury, but I'm currently seeing him do very well against Ukraine. He has won the most duels so far with a total of 7 for the French national team, so I don't see him doing bad whatsoever. Even with a 95% pass completion rate, I don't understand why Eric Garcia would go over him at FC Barcelona. Maybe it is a lack of concentration. Now, this does not mean that Eric Garcia is a bad player. I'm not trying to complain that Eric Garcia should not be in the starting 11. No, Eric Garcia has been doing amazing, and especially in the past year. I would just say the year of 2025, Eric Garcia is that guy. But ideally, I would like to say Jules Koundé at his best, because when you have Koundé at his best and Eric Garcia at his best, Koundé usually ends up being the better one that provides you a lot more from the attack through the defense, and we need the old Jules Koundé back. He definitely does not give me the leadership captain vibes, somebody who likes to scream at the other players and say that this is what we need to do. So it has to be between either Araujo or Cubarsí for now. Point number 2, there is a lack of attacking fluidity and clinical finishing. The issue is, even though we scored 7 goals in 3 matches, there's a lack of attacking cohesion, I would say, and I think that all of us can agree on this. Dani Olmo missed 2 clear chances versus Rayo Vallecano, shots that could have just been buried so easy. Marcus Rashford has been struggling to adapt. He's ineffective both centrally and out wide, which makes no sense. So I would say that the front line does lack a lot of synergy, and it does seem like these players like Yamal, Rafinha, Ferran Torres, Marcus Rashford, Dani Olmo, they all do seem like they're playing for themselves. I would say that the best duo that we have so far is between Yamal and Rafinha, which is understandable. They play together already. They know each other. They conquered Spain together as well, doing very well in Europe. But is that really going to be it? Is Barcelona going to be having other weapons? We should be having other weapons. We cannot be so reliant on a player like Yamal to just create things on his own. Point number 3, there is a concern in midfield quality depth for now, because I would say that players like Gavi, Marcos Alonso, Fermín López, they have underperformed and they have failed to leave a strong impression. Of course, we can always admire players like Pedri and Frankie. They have done okay, but even with them, they have not hit their usual form as well. Pedri and Frankie have been like a 7 out of 10, and then you have Gavi, Marcos Alonso, and Fermín López, who have been acting like a 6 out of 10. Dani Olmo as a 10 has been like a 4 out of 10. The bar needs to be raised higher for all of these players. I would even say that the best one has been Pedri, with Frankie coming in close in second. When we return back from international break, I would like to see a midfield that is dying to have the ball, a midfield that is always looking to see how can we regain the ball and move the ball forward to score as fast as possible. This is what we need, and that's what's going to lead me towards another conversation I've been wanting to have, and that is about the underwhelming players and why they're not delivering. So for example, number 1 is going to be going back to Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo had a rating of 5.5 out of 10 against Rayo Vallecano, and he has been a shadow of himself, missing that simple chance that we talked about before halftime. Started as a 10, and he was expected to be the link between the midfield and the attack, but he has not given that whatsoever. I believe that Dani Olmo is a player that needs to step up before he does lose his spot. I think that he will lose his spot. Like when we do return, it's going to be Gavi in the number 10 position, and if Gavi does not do well, we go back to Fermín López. And speaking about the other player that has been underwhelming, I only say this because he has been so exceptional last season that we need to see the same, and that is about Rafinha. Rafinha, even though he hasn't been bad overall in the first 3 matches of La Liga, he can be much better. Last season, he had 59 goal contributions and a lot of buzz in regards to the Ballon d'Oro. He used to be so scary against any defenders, but very quiet against Levante, against Rayo Vallecano, and overall, I would just give him a 6 out of 10. He needs to rediscover that attacking edge very fast, like become that player that can run behind the defensive line as fast as possible, get focused, look for those attacking opportunities, look for those crosses. It is one of the best attacking qualities that Rafinha has, but I don't see that from him. I see a Rafinha that tries to do something that he's not really good at. We're just trying to take down players, but he can't do that. So once again, Rafinha is still one of our best attacking players today in terms of form, but it is nowhere near close to the Rafinha that we saw last season. Now you may say, but Kevin, don't you think that you're being a little too hard on this team so early in the season? I don't think so. I think that I'm being a little reasonable, because when we look back at the first 3 matches, or I would say 4 matches before the international break, Barcelona won all of those 4 matches. They were amazing, and that is with less players injured, by the way. We defeated Valencia in the first game 2-1. We defeated Athletic Club 2-1, defeated Rayo Vallecano 2-1, then defeated Real Valladolid 7-0, and then we went to international break. Barcelona also conceded less big chances, by the way. And let me re-explain, with less players. There were a lot of players injured at this time. So to see this today in the first 3 matches, it does not make a lot of sense to me. We have all of our players. And I also wanted to compare how Barcelona are next to Europe's elite. So for example, who has had the best start in the first 3 matches so far in the top 5 leagues? One of them is Villarreal. Villarreal have scored 8 goals and have only conceded 1. Keep in mind that Barcelona have scored 7 and we have conceded 3. They do have the exact same points as us, which is 7 points in La Liga, but Barcelona have conceded much more than them. Lyon, I think, had the most perfect run with 5 goals scored, 0 goals conceded, and 9 points, 1 out of 9. Real Madrid, I would say, is also one of the best. 6 goals scored, which is 1 less than FC Barcelona, but they have conceded 2 less goals than Barcelona, which is only 1 goal, and they have won 9 total points compared to Barcelona, who only have 7. And then we have PSG with 8 goals scored, 1 more than FC Barcelona, 3 goals conceded, which is tied with Barcelona, but 9 total points won compared to FC Barcelona, which is once again 7 points. So in terms of who had the stronger defense, it has been Lyon and Real Madrid. Who has had the most goals scored? It is Bayern Munich with a total of 9, by the way, and Villarreal. The teams with the higher points within the top 5 leagues so far, it is Real Madrid and PSG. Barcelona do sit in the middle of all of this. We have been very medium, very mid, and Flick obviously has some answers to this. He has some feedback to our overall performance by saying, like, the ego does kill success. We must become more united than we did last season. I would also even argue that maybe even Flick himself needs to take some self-accountability and look at his impact subs, because he was much more impactful when he brought players in during the game last season compared to what we have seen in the first 3 matches. Almost every sub that he made in the first 3 matches in this season did not really do much. It has been very ineffective. So for sure, and this is going to be my final thoughts, defensively, Barcelona needs structure. We need leadership and we need positional discipline. Offensively, players like Rashford, Olmo, and Rafinha must show more consistency, be more daring, bring more risk, take more shots. In the midfield, we need better rotation and more impact from our attacking midfielders. So let me know in the comment sections down below, what do you believe is Barcelona's biggest problem so far this season? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.